Hi there, boys and girls. My name is Dr. Julie May, and I'm one of the research scientists at the Center for STEM Education at the University of Southern Mississippi. Today, we're going to do a fun little lesson called Henry the Hedgehog Takes a Nap. This lesson is going to focus on how animal and plant adaptations improve their survival. We're going to follow Henry the Hedgehog as he looks for a place to have lunch and take a nap. We're going to talk about the biology and the habitat of Henry. We're going to talk about the ecology of the mosses that he finds. And then we're going to have a really cute little hands-on experiment with Henry that introduces you to the world of polymers. Now, how many of you have ever taken a walk through the forest? Maybe you've noticed that on rocks and trees and logs, there's a bunch of really squishy green plants that are real short, and these are called mosses. It kind of looks like a nice place to have a nap. Well, maybe Henry thought so too. So here we have Henry the Hedgehog, and he's looking for a place to have a nap and maybe get some lunch. In your lesson, you have little hedgehog figurines. I'd like for you to take this opportunity to get your magnifying glasses and look at your little figurines of your hedgehogs. I'd like for you to formulate some questions about the hedgehogs. Do you think these would be big, ferocious animals? Do you think that they would be cuddly like a kitten or a rabbit? Do you think that they would be pokey and spiny like a porcupine? What do you think about them? Resume the video when you're ready. Well, a hedgehog is a small, spiny mammal. It's changed very little in the last 15 million years. The name hedgehog has been around since before Columbus ever even discovered America. It was called hedgehog because of its features. It was often found burrowing underneath hedges or bushes, and hog because it has a pig-like snout. The hedgehog babies are called hoglets. So maybe that makes Henry a hoglet too. Where do hedgehogs come from? Well, they have cousins pretty much all over the world. Here, we see hedgehogs coming from Europe, from Asia, Africa, and New Zealand. Now, there aren't any native species to Australia, and there used to be, but no longer any native species to the Americas. You won't really find hedgehogs if you go out during the daytime, because during the day, hedgehogs are usually asleep. They sleep up to 18 hours every day, and they really only go out and eat and play at night. Animals that go out and play and eat at night are called nocturnal animals. But remember, Henry is hungry. Let's think about this for a second. Do hedgehogs eat hamburgers? No, probably not. But Henry is hungry, right? And he is searching for a place to have some lunch. What does he eat? Well, he eats a little bit of everything. He eats insects, snails, worms, some snakes. He eats toads and frogs. He eats bird eggs, berries, mushrooms, roots, and melons, sometimes even baby newborn mice. In the fall, he likes to eat soft, ripe fruits. Animals who eat a bunch of all different sorts of things are called omnivores. Omni means all or every. Now, Henry does not like to play with a lot of other people. He's a solitary sort of fellow. And when there is trouble, maybe another competitor or a rival or somebody else looking for trouble, Henry has to know how to protect himself. How do you think Henry protects himself? Well, we're going to find out. The drawing on the right side of the screen gives you a little bit of clue. You can see that Henry is balled up into a little squishy ball. and all his spikes are on the outside. That protects his soft belly from predators. Now we're going to watch a small video about two hedgehogs fighting. It may take a second to load. Be patient. Did you notice the hedgehogs curling into a tight little ball? Well, that's one way that they defend themselves. Another way that they defend themselves is through their immunity. Hedgehogs are naturally immune to a lot of plants and snakes that other animals find poisonous. So sometimes they will go up to a plant and they will eat the plant, and then they will make a lot of foamy saliva or spit in their mouth, and they will smear that all over their quills. And this poisonous saliva now repels other parasites, and it makes their quills taste bad. And sometimes it can even make them poisonous to other predators so that nothing else will eat them. This process is called self-anointing. But remember, Henry is also very tired. So, where can he sleep? Well, often there are a lot of different places that hedgehogs can sleep. Sometimes they sleep in a burrow or under leaves, in tree stumps, or under hedges. Today, Henry might find an old rock wall covered in moss. And moss is really squishy and soft, remember? So, as Henry curls up to take a nap, he thinks about all the things that he knows about mosses. What do you know about mosses? I would like for you to take your magnifying glass and take a sample of moss that's provided in your lesson. I'd like for you to give a look at it. Is it soft? Is it spiky? Is it tall? Does it feel like a stick or a tree or a flower? What does it feel like? What color is it? Resume the video when you're ready. All right, let's talk about mosses. Mosses are one of the oldest living plant species on the entire planet. There are over 25,000 varieties. It was one of the first land plants to spread all over the entire globe. So mosses have been around literally since the time of dinosaurs. It provides a habitat and a food source for insects and invertebrates, and they're called bryophytes. Now, that might be a new word for you, but bryophytes are a kind of plant that is non-vascular and flowerless. It does not make a flower, and it has no roots or vascular tissue. It absorbs water and nutrients from the air and from the leaves that are on top. Because it doesn't have roots, it grows very, very short. And remember, mosses have been around since the time of the dinosaurs, so it was one of the first plants to evolve, even before ferns, before trees, and before flowers. So it was a very, very early plant. Mosses are also decomposers. They live on decaying material. So a forest floor is a great place for mosses to live because what do we find in a forest floor? Lots of decaying leaves, logs, and soil. So a forest floor is a great place because it provides a lot of nutrients and moisture for the moss. Remember, mosses are only a few centimeters in height. They're very short and they grow in dense green clumps in a damp and shady location. And this helps it prevent evaporation. It prevents it from drying out. But what's cool about mosses is even if they do dry out, they can just go dormant or go to sleep if they get dry. And then if it rains or they get more moisture, they just pop up and come back to life, sort of. But people use mosses too. Sometimes they use them in decorations, like you see on the left here with the chair. Sometimes they have mosses in floral arrangements. Sometimes people use them as insulation. You see here, there's mosses on the side of this house. Many years ago, when people built log cabins, they would put them in between the logs to help insulate a house. Mosses are also super absorbent. They hold up to 20 times their weight in water. But mosses are great for the environment as well. They're called a keystone plant, and they help restore the habitat and can help with reforestation. Sometimes, if there's a natural disaster like an oil spill, mosses can be used to help clean up the oil because they're so absorbent. They can also help clean water by filtering it. Many, many years ago, mosses were even used to put on wounds for soldiers as a dressing. So let's summarize. Mosses provide food, shelter, and homes for a wide variety of wildlife. They produce oxygen and absorb carbon and air pollution, so they help clean the environment. They prevent soil erosion and retain and filter the water. So not only are they cleaning the air, but they're also cleaning the water. There are over 25,000 species of mosses in the world, and they collectively capture more carbon than trees. Moss will be a great place for Henry to find lunch and safely take a nap. I'd like for you to stop here and fill out your activity sheets. You have 2 activity sheets, and we're going to see how many hedgehog and moss facts you learned today. You can resume the video after this activity. Oh no, after Henry woke up, maybe he was having a bad dream, but he's learned that he's lost his spikes. Let's work together to give Henry his spikes back so he can defend himself. Poor Henry. So we're going to do a little experiment. What you're going to need is a snack bag with an outline of Henry drawn on it. The snack bag should be filled with water and sealed very securely. We're going to need some wooden toothpicks. What you're going to do is set your activity bag with Henry on it onto your dresser, your table. Resume the video when you've collected all of your materials. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. You're going to carefully poke the toothpicks into each of Henry's dots. And that is what I am doing now. So if you would like to stop the video while you do that, you can resume when you're done. But what I'm doing is poking the toothpicks into Henry's dots very carefully with the snack bag securely on the table. I have just one more. Now, I'm poking a hole in plastic with water in it. Do you think it's going to leak? This is a time for you to make a hypothesis. Make a guess as to what you think is going to happen. Look, there's Henry's spikes. How about that? Can you see that? It's not leaking. How cool is that? Now it's your turn. How does this work? Well, this is the science of polymers. Plastics, like the snack bag, are made of polymers. Polymers are long, flexible chain molecules. And when you try to break them, they want to pull back together and they make a seal around the toothpicks. But you might say, this makes me think. If you want to explore more after this lesson, maybe try going to a sink area and you can elaborate on this activity. You can try a bigger stick or a pencil. You can try poking it all the way through both sides of the plastic. You can try wiggling the stick to make a bigger hole. You can try pulling out the stick and putting it back in, and different things, and make a hypothesis or a guess each time. Discuss your observations and findings with your class. Awesome. You learned so much today. Give yourselves a hand. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you learned some facts about hedgehogs and mosses and a little bit about polymers. Please make sure that you have completed your Henry the Hedgehog activity sheet. And teachers, please scan and return these sheets to the Center for STEM Education. This is a post-assessment evaluation. We love having student feedback. Thank you so much for your time today. I really had fun with you, and I hope you had fun. Goodbye.